So for problem 1.2.17, this is another example. We've been doing them here and there throughout our conversions of converting something that we don't have a direct conversion factor for. In this case, not only do we not have a direct conversion factor, but it's units raised to a power. So if I have 195.7 square inches and it wants me to convert that to square meters, and if we look at that table 1.2.1 of all our conversion factors, nothing is squared on that table. We have a few cubed units, but nothing is squared. We do, however, have centimeters to inches, and we have centimeters to meters. Now the problem with both of these conversion factors is that neither of them are squared. This isn't inches squared to centimeters squared, it isn't centimeters squared to meters squared, but we can make them squared by squaring the conversion factor. And the trick about doing this is it is very easy to get stuck in, okay, especially if you don't put the parentheses around it, okay, I have 2.54 centimeters and I'm going to square that. Oh look, well now it's 2.54 centimeters squared. That's not the case because your square has to apply to that and it has to apply to the number. So in this case, I'm going to square both my number and my units, and I'm going to come out with, this is approximately 6.45 square centimeters. 1 squared is still 1. That's the other trap you can fall into on this conversion factor over here, where 1 meter squared is also 1 square meter. It's really easy to realize that the top is going to stay the same and not change the bottom. So I've got to make sure I change the bottom here, and then I can go ahead and I can do all my math now that I know what all my numbers are actually supposed to be, and I'm going to come up with 1.26 meters squared. And then once again we can ask ourselves, as we should have been doing for all of these problems, does my answer make sense? 195.7 square inches versus 0.126 square meters. If you think about the size of an inch versus the size of a meter, how many inches are in a meter? There's over 39 inches in a meter. It makes sense that the number of square meters in that many square inches is going to be a much smaller number, especially as you start adding dimensions to measurements like squaring or cubing.